So we're talking about I always mess up the name of it. Everything everywhere
all at once.
Yeah, everything everywhere all at once. Which is, I mean, the title kind of spoils the movie. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh my god. I clicked on it, and now I want this. It's Raccoony. I want it. I don't know what this is even. It's just it's a wall decor. Oh man. So that's a little spoiler that we're gonna get into in a few minutes. Because that was awesome. That was definitely one of my favorite scenes. But let me pull up the trailer, and then we'll this movie is super bonkers.
Say A24.
A24 movie, and jeez, I don't know what they're doing. You got the synopsis, Will?
I do. A very short one.
All right. Yeah.
Actually, can you do it? Can you do it?
Sure. You find it real quick.
Ready?
Find it real quick. But well, just right off the bat, I know this is it's the life of what was her name? Yeah. So when an interdimensional rupture unravels reality, an unlikely hero must channel her newfound powers to fight bizarre and bewildering dangers from the multiverse as the fate of the world hangs in the balance. So she Evelyn. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever. So yeah, Evelyn, and it's basically about her husband, who's Wayman, and her daughter Joy, and there's a bunch of other pretty cool other cameos in this movie. But it's basically about Evelyn, Wayman, and it's Wayman, Waymond, not Raymond, Wayman, which it's also kind of like a really semi-racist take on Chinese with pronouncing R's.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of
racist.
Yeah. And then the daughter Joy. But so it's just them, Evelyn figuring out that she is this person who found multiple universes and is trying to one of the versions of her and stuff like that. And we go through all the different universes, and there's ways that you can pull certain skills from another universe. So her husband from the Alpha universe, I believe it was called, finds her because she's special. And yeah, we'll get into that in a minute. And finds her because she's special. She's different than all the other Evelyns, and she needs to save the multiverse. You know, and then the trailer doesn't really, gives away a few things. But
Yes,
it's this
so much stuff going on. Oh my
yeah. There's a let me bring it down. So the main bad guy, what was her name? She dubs her, she gives herself a name.
Jobu? Is that what you're talking about?
Jobu Tupaki. And Evelyn the entire time couldn't pronounce it, and she was like Juju Chewbacca. And, like, she kept saying random names, which is like super funny. But Jobu Tubaki, I believe, was the name of the bad guy. I don't give spoilers out yet who the bad guy was. But yeah, he was, I'll pay for good money for a full length Raccoony film. Same, bro. Same. Because that completely caught me off guard. So much of this movie caught me off guard. Well, let's get right into the good stuff. That's pretty much it. It's multiverse. She's special, and she's trying to save the multiverse. In a nutshell.
She never does her taxes.
Was that? And
she
what?
Never gets her taxes done.
Yeah. Well, that version of her with the taxes. Also, Jamie Lee Curtis is holy crap. She plays the tax person in this movie, and I didn't think she was gonna have that big of a role. She was pretty big role, than I expected. But yeah. So why don't you go, Will, and tell us what are some things that you liked about this one?
Where do I start? So this movie has an insane amount of references to other movies. That's one thing I liked. Pop culture, yeah. So because it's a multiverse kind of movie, it pulls from different areas. It pulls from Ratatouille, Raccoon, whatever. It it it's a movie that I think really thinks outside the box, and I say that, and it's like I'm barely just getting the tip of the iceberg when I say that. So I can just mention this scene, right? And it's not spoiling the movie. There's a fight scene with butt plugs.
That's right. I forgot about that.
A fight scene with butt plugs. And there's a fight to get to the butt plug, and there's like, man, it's just so out the box. It's like the box is miles away. It's a zip code away from where they're thinking. And so for that, I really loved it. They really double down on their wackiness in this movie. We get Jamie Lee Curtis doing amazing. Right? There's many different versions, very different universes, right? Multiverses that they dig into, right? You see one in the trailer where everyone has freaking
those things of fingers,
hot dog fingers. That had to look away from the screen and like luckily I was on the edge, or not the edge, but near the aisle where I can get up and like just kind of do a little walk, a little lap real quick. And those things, they're like raw hot dogs too, they're not even cooked. And
wasn't there one scene where they're like rocks?
Yeah. Rock scene.
What?
So rocks are not supposed to move, right? And they don't at first, and that's a whole thing, right? Like pretty much to kind of dip into that because there's just so much, right?
So it's like, what is going on?
And like that scene was actually a very fairly important scene because there's some quote unquote dialogue that happens that's kind of important, but it's it's like
even before that moment, like there's a scene where you just see two rocks on the edge of a cliff. And there's not even like how you said, there's not even dialogue. It's just text on the screen.
Yeah.
And that's probably going to win this movie an Oscar. The rocks are going to get a supporting role fucking award or something. It's just so much. It's so much. I'm going to be missing a whole bunch. Hopefully, Tank, you can kind of shed some light on the good stuff of this movie. But like overall, I really enjoyed the wackiness. I enjoyed the family, right? So I feel like this was almost a coming of age tale, kind of very similar to like Turning Red or even Uma, right? The struggle and relationship between a mother and her daughter, and coming to terms with, getting older and not passing on the same patterns that you've done with previous generations. We kind of touch into that a little bit with Asian culture. That's a hot button to touch, and they touch on that a lot in this movie. So I really like that. We see Wayman Wang, right? That's played by, I can't say his name. Ki Hui Kwan. He's from The Goonies. He's from Indiana Jones, and I'm so happy that he got to, get a really big star role in this movie, because he stepped away from acting for so long because he couldn't get a role being an Asian actor, and that's so sad to hear. So to know that he came back, and representation is something that really matters, something that I'm all about. For him to be in this movie and really show off what he can do was amazing. But yeah,
cast into, you have to be one thing or one thing only, and no, just like anyone else, you're more than one thing. You're multiple things. All just like how this movie is multiple things all at the same time. That's what you are. So you have to be able to identify that and be able to see those things, and be able to explore all those soul aspects of you. And that's hard as an actor if you don't want to be typecast into one thing, to be able to branch out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everything is Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Yeah.
Right. Maybe talk about that, Tank. I've never seen that movie. I'm so bad, but I haven't seen that movie. No,
It's
I know that's
really
one
good.
that's on the list. But just overall, well done story wise. The progression of the movie.
Yeah, he wasn't in Encino Man.
You are
Yeah.
100% right, Brandon. Me and him watched it. We watched Encino Man at Family Video 15 years ago. So yeah, he's right.
I saw the guy who plays Wong or
Oh,
Wang.
He was in
was
Encino Man.
he-
I don't remember him in there.
Yeah, it was a small role. He wasn't a major character. He was like a
Oh.
super side character. But he was like a little tech nerdy guy, on the campus. So
Damn it.
yeah,
Typecast.
that was really that's the last thing I remember him in. So family video.
We've watched like every movie together. You can imagine.
Nice. That's the perks of working at a
video store. Exactly.
Yeah.
True.
But
yeah, that's it for me. There's so much I can go on, but I'll let you touch on some of the great things that kind of picked up from this movie. What did you think? What kind of made this movie for you?
The fighting was crazy. It was crazy. I mean, and then they did things with fighting that you wouldn't expect. And there's a part where Wayman takes off his little fanny pack and uses it as like a weapon, and he's like whipping it around, doing all this crazy shit, and like, and I'm like, oh, that was really cool. And then so Jenny Slate's in this one, and her character is the only name that she's credited for is Big Nose.
Big Nose.
And Big Nose. Which is also kind of like, semi-racist. They call her like Big Nose and stuff like that. And she's kind of like a traditional kind of California kind of valley girl, has a little dog and stuff like that. So there's a part where she winds up getting possessed. I don't know how to describe it, like taken over by another universe, and she's one of the goons for the bad guy, and she has the little dog, but then she winds up using the dog like as a weapon, like that's on the
yes.
Oh my god! And she's like she says something, and the dog's like her, and then like she starts flicking it. And it's like those that weapon where you like spin it around your arm and wrap it around you and get all that momentum to whip it. Yeah. There's a part she like flings it and then drop kicks it, and the dog goes flying.
Yep.
And then like Evelyn winds up blocking it and sticks it in the fridge. It was like, what the heck?
Nuts.
The one thing is the fanny pack, and then she uses the dog as that weapon, and oh my god! So Jenny Slate, she's a fairly big actress, and just to have such a small, goofy role in this movie was just, I don't know how she got into that. She does have a snaz on her now. Now that you mention it, yeah. But yeah, she is. She was.
It does look at the end, so that kind of does make you a little big nose.
Yeah. I think is she Jewish descent, I believe. So it's kind of like the whole thing.
I'll take it back.
So bad.
I could be. I don't know. I'm trying to look for was.
So
yeah. Family is Jewish. That's why I said it's kind of like a racist thing. Like this movie did a lot of racist things that you don't really think about. Like the whole time I'm like, is she saying Raymond or Wayman? Like I had to go home and I look at it and I'm like, what did they credit it as? And it was Wayman. I was like, that's messed up. like because I'm questioning it. I'm like, am I a piece of shit? Like, or and I'm like, oh, his name is Wayman. I was like, okay. And then obviously Big Nose and stuff like that. And James Hong is in it and he played Gong Gong, which also sounds not good.
So bad.
God, yeah, so it's just it's little things like that were kind of like silly. I don't know if they're meant to be like that, or what. But I'm trying to see who directed this one.
Dan Kwan and Daniel Shaynert. I can't pronounce that right.
Yeah.
Shaynert.
Yeah. Jeez. I mean, yeah. So it was like little things like that were kind of like funny, but yeah, they did some good stuff. The Dan's directed, I think, ever since Swiss Army Man. Yeah, they stayed on my radar.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like that one. The Dan's. Yeah.
It's a good.
Yeah, Swiss Army Man was pretty good. A lot of people didn't like it. I thought it was kind of cool. It was weird, very weird. But yeah, this yeah, the fighting was really cool. The whole idea of I'm gonna give a big spoiler is the daughter is the main villain of the story. So she's Jabu Tubaki, and she winds up being kind of turned evil by the alpha version of Evelyn, the one who found out about multiverse, kind of stuff. And she tried to make her super powerful, like, oh, we're just gonna cram you with as much of yourself as possible. And it made her exist in every reality all at once. So she was able to be in every single multiverse all at once rather than picking and choosing stuff. And it was really cool because they literally switched like in a blink of an eye, she has this on. Now she has this on. There's a part where she's like fighting the guards with giant dildos. It's just and she like kicks their ass with these like huge dildos. And she's like super cool. And then like, even her twist of it is like, she wanted to make the ultimate bagel. So she wanted to have a true everything bagel. And when you put everything on a bagel, it creates this like evil vortex black hole thing.
Black hole.
And it makes her so it's really interesting, man. I mean, they were able to make you laugh, make you kind of like be like entertained with all the action, but also like it's still about a mother and a daughter. At the end of the day, it's their relationship with each other.
Sounds a lot like Highlander too.
A little bit. It's really cool. So like the whole hot dog finger thing is really interesting. Like how they have to do certain things to trigger that reality that they want to get from. So there's a part where Wayman he wants to get a certain skill from a certain version of himself from a universe. And he's talking to like these people who know all the branches. They're like, all right, your best probability to become like that person, to get that skill. He's like, all right, you have to cut paper cuts in between each finger. So he's sitting there, like, like doing paper cuts in his finger, and until and then he couldn't get the last one. And then he finally like did it all slow and it got a paper cut. And then he's able to harness that skill from that universe. So same thing with Evelyn.
Should have ran in with some lemon juice. Like, gotcha now.
Yeah, but she kind of finds like if you don't do it right, and if like you're supposed to do something and you don't do it right, you can get sent to another universe and get a random set of skills, like hot dog fingers. so and like she needed to have some skills, so she became like a chef, a hibachi chef.
Yeah.
And then that's where the whole raccoony came about. Just like so like he's like a version that he also is fighting, but he like finds out like he's only good because he has a giant raccoon. Which also, who voiced the raccoon?
Who?
The freaking the guy who oh my god. Why can't I think of it? Randy Newman.
Randy Newman
voiced the stupid raccoon. Like, what? I couldn't believe it. I'm like, no way. And by all means, that's what it sounds, and he doesn't talk much. You hear like little noise. Oh man. I was like, how do you get Randy Newman to do that? So yeah, man, it was just so funny. I think at the end of the day too, it was just so silly and so funny. Good action.
So anything you guys didn't like?
I don't know. What about you, Will? Anything you didn't like?
No.
No.
as crazy of a movie was, No, I can't think of a single thing where I would have changed or thought negatively about it. It was its own like art. Like it really,
Yeah,
I got nothing. I got nothing.
I'm trying
And
to see
that's
what the
really
runtime was because it didn't. It seemed like
2 hours and 21 minutes.
yeah, something like that. So
I got lost
it
in
was
the movie. I didn't even
it
know
was
how
a
long it
little
was.
long, but yeah, but I didn't feel like it like dragged at any point. I'm trying to think of bad stuff. I mean, the acting was great, the comedy was great, the action was great, all the references to just pop culture. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can kind of get upset with some of the relationships the way they are, but it's kind of done on purpose. So, you could be like, "Oh, why do you act like that?" But it's kind of like on
That's part
purpose.
of the
It's not
movie.
like an accidental. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm trying to think of anything that was like really, really that was bad that stuck out to me because like from beginning to end, it was just super entertaining, and I can't think of anything. I'm like, oh, why did they do that? Or anything. It's just I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to think of anything. I don't know if Brandon. I'm assuming he watched it. If there's anything that you didn't quite like, let us know. Yeah,
This is
I
right
don't
up
know.
his alley, so I don't think he's a lot of stuff
It's
that he
super
would like.
trippy. Yeah, it's
No.
super trippy. Yeah, you just want to get into our ratings then?
Let's do it.
Because I can't think of anything bad. Yeah. So yeah, go ahead. We want to let them know how we rate stuff.
Let's do it. So here on the Nerd Huddle, us Spoiler Kings like to review movies a little bit differently. So we don't use the 5-star rating. We don't use the thumbs up, thumbs down. We do it our own cool way, which you see down below. So we're either going to rate this movie a watch now, a watch later, or a watch never. A watch now means, oh my God, this movie was amazing, and you should go watch it right away. It's priority because it's that good. A watch later means, the movie was okay. It's watchable. Maybe catch it on streaming. It's not a top priority, but it's definitely something to watch. And a watch never means don't give this movie any time of day. It's pure, utter trash. Do not give this movie any of your coin. It's terrible. So with that being said, if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and rate this movie first.
Go for it.
So the movie, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, is going to get a very easy watch now for me, and for a few reasons. One is it's a whole heartwarming like clusterfuck. That's the best way I can describe it. It's a heartwarming clusterfuck. This movie has so much to it. I didn't even know that it was 2 hours 20 minutes. And the fact that I got lost in the movie and it was over 2 hours just says a whole lot about how well it did and how engaged I was with all the crazy stuff that happened. I didn't even think about the fight scenes. You mentioned the fight scenes earlier. The fight scenes and the weapons that they use were just out of this world. And just the fact that you got a movie that isn't or hasn't been done over and over and over again, something new and fresh, means boom, you get an A in my book. So yeah, watch now, definitely. What about you, Tank? What do you think?
So real quick, Brandon said, I personally loved it. I think at worst, its bizarre nature kind of worked against it here and there, but when it worked, it really worked. Yeah, and and I'm looking at reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, which we'll get, and it seemed like that's what a lot of people are like. I don't get it.
Yeah, but
so
you also have to remember people are stupid.
yeah,
That's just
Yeah.
overall.
Yeah.
What it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. And then crazy is the most apt way to describe that. He'll describe it. That's what I walked out of saying out loud. Yeah,
That's crazy.
I think when I finished watching, I'm like, this is crazy. This is, and it's great. But me, I'm giving this one a now. It took something that I think we're all getting excited for with Multiverse, that we're just getting a lot of movie goers with the whole Marvel kind of stuff, and this one simplifies it and makes it easy to understand without, because it can easily get overcomplicated, like very easily, like a multiverse kind of situation. This kind of simple, keeps it simple, keeps it funny, and keeps it like original too. You know, it's like, oh, here's branches, and every branch is a different version, and there's unlimited branches. Boom, good. And like, all right, and then we take advantage of all the branches. And then that's like all you really need to know. And then it just has fun with it. So, you know, it makes fun of itself, which is always funny. It makes fun of other pop culture. You know, I mean, it was just really, really good. I'm sure there's a lot of other jokes I missed too. You know, when I watch it again, I'm sure I'm like, oh, look, there's that. I'm sure there's got to be a Goonies or Indiana Jones reference in there. Like, has to. like there's no way it doesn't. You know.
Let's go short stack. Let's go.
I think there was.
Exactly.
I saw one image that hopefully we get to see it streaming, and I'll get to like screenshot it or something. But there was one image where I think I saw Wayman wearing the getup from the Goonies.
And everything.
Yeah, it was a quick like flash on the screen. I was like, "Hey, was that?" And looking at the wife, she was like, "Yeah, I think that was it." Yeah. Like, we didn't get a whole scene, but I think we got a quick image of him wearing the whole getup. That was awesome.
That'd be funny. I'm sure once this comes out on like streaming, people are gonna break down, because there's one scene where it just flash. I mean, it's just like a million things thrown at you all at once because you're going through all the universes, and you're just like, okay, now you're just, you know, going crazy with this. Yeah, Multiverse of Madness is Friday. Ask Brian. He knows I'm a big Sam Raimi fan. Yeah.
I'm going Thursday. I can't wait to Friday. Just letting you know.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, this is a go watch it now. It was so much fun, you know. Even if everything confuses you with the multiverse kind of stuff, just them having fun with it is funny. You know, like the fingers, the hot dog fingers had me cracking up because they kept putting them in each other's mouths, and then there's mustard. I was like, wait, is that supposed to be what? Okay. Yeah, so
that's like they were Chicago dogs.
Chicago, right.
No ketchup.
Yeah, it was funny how Michelle O got, or is that how you pronounce her name? How she got involved in this is crazy, because I thought she did a fantastic job in it, you know. So actually all three of them, the main three, you know, her husband and her daughter were really amazing in it. Yeah, so many questions during that scene, dude. So many.
Where's the mustard coming from? What does that mean? Why is it in your mouth? I don't.
It's
okay.
If I wonder if like it would have been like as she was filming Hidden Crouching Tiger, but like, hey, you're gonna be sticking hot dog finger in Jamie Lee Curtis's mouth in a couple of years. You're like, what? you're fucking crazy, man.
She probably was like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So it was just it's a fun movie. Yeah. Okay. Where did we came from? I mean, I have an idea, but you know, it's just. Yeah, I mean, it was because like literally, like it's like they're like, you know, in like, and then it cuts away and it comes back, and Sandra Oh's got like, oh, not Sandra Oh, wrong actress. Michelle got mustard like oozing from her mouth. It was like, oh god. Yeah. So that's why, I mean, like there's parts where you literally are laughing out loud, and you're like. Like, I don't know.
Are you surprised by his box office numbers?
I didn't even know what it did.
So
I don't think it did well, right?
It's not a big number.
Well, it was in select theaters, to be fair. It wasn't such a big hyped up movie like how we've had every other movie that we've had the past couple months. So for the numbers that it did do, I'm somewhat impressed, but yeah, they got really low numbers.
I was like, under $40 million. I'm like, that's
yeah. Opening weekend, it did $500,000.
Yeah, $500,000 opening weekend.
Kind of crazy. Although they really didn't promote it that much, though. I really didn't see that many trailers. But yeah, overall gross domestically it got 35, almost 35 and a half mil.
Yep.
So yeah,
it's picking up.
It is. I think this is gonna be one of those movies that does a lot better.
Word of mouth. People telling you, "Oh my god, you have to see this."
Yeah, once it comes out on DVD, I think people are gonna like go crazy with this one. Like I can see DVD sales, like Voodoo buying digital. I can see it going crazy. I mean, same thing with like Encanto. Encanto did not do well in theaters, and
Really,
it came out like
all that money it took from me.
Yeah, right. You're all of it. You were like a quarter of it.
I'm like, man.
It didn't do too well in theaters, but then it came out on Disney Plus, and people lost their mind. I mean, it won a freaking Oscar. So, it's still, COVID is still kind of causing a lot of issues with stuff like this. But also there's a lot of other bigger movies that are out that people want to see. Where something like this, they're like whatever, but. It's probably one of the better movies out right now, honestly.
I never would have thought Encanto got less than $100 million.
Is that what it did?
$96 million domestically.
Hmm.
I never would have guessed that. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it didn't do well, but I mean, once it came up to streaming at home, it did insane. It did insane, and I think that's what's happening with this one. People are gonna get it out and rent it and see like, oh wow, this is an awesome movie. So it was very much an uneasy what the F type of laughter. Yeah, a lot of times in it, because you're laughing at like Jenny Slate kicking her dog as a weapon. You're laughing at that.
As my dog's looking at me like,
yeah, don't even think about it. I mean, even like this scene here in the trailer, she's riding him, on his shoulder, like pulling his hair and controlling him, like raccoony.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, it's definitely a weird movie. And then real quick, we'll get into Rotten Tomatoes. So the tomato meter, the critics gave it a 97%, that's really high. That's definitely one of the higher ones that we saw. And then the audience gave it a 91. So everyone likes it. So that's another thing that makes me think once it comes out on DVD and digital, I think it's gonna make a killing.
I mean, whoever service gets it is probably gonna like blow up. Honestly, they have those top 10 movies on Netflix. Well, you didn't see this in the box office, but now it's the #1 trending movie in all of America. That's gonna be that.
Yeah. I mean, most of the critics' reviews, I don't want to sound like ageist, but it seemed like there's a lot of older critics. They're like, I don't get it, like, and I feel bad. It's like because they have the little picture of them and they look fairly older. It's like it was a lot of stuff going on. I was like, yep.
It tells you that in the title.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Exactly. But yeah. I liked it. Anything else, Will, before we move on? I still can't think of anything bad in this movie. I can't. I really can't.
I want to see it again. I want to see it again and again and again. I think you've already answered it, right? You will watch it again, right?
Oh, for sure.
He's actually watching it right now.
I guess they made a bunch of movie posters for this movie. For all the different universes, which is freaking awesome. Let me hide this real quick. So they have Amor eats sausages, and she's got the little sausage. Let me see it. So there's that. I'm sure that's making fun of another movie. And then Pinky of Fury. And now if you see like she trained her pinky so much that her pinky has a little bicep on it. Like,
oh,
yeah. I forgot about that.
They have a pinky fight scene. That was crazy.
They have so many of these posters. This is awesome. I didn't even know this. So there's her where she's and they actually had pictures of Michelle like on the red carpet that they used for her version of herself where she's like famous, like a famous actress, So they was like her from there, but Yeah, it's really good. But even that one, like, there's a part where she like just flicks the pinkies and her hair like whooshes just from the force of her pinkies.
Yep.
Oh man. But the sausage ones, that if you didn't laugh at that, I don't know. I don't know. You might be dead inside.
Look inside, you might
Yeah.
be dead.
Yeah. But this I want this poster. I don't know if it's worth $24, but I really want this poster because that is awesome. You know, and it has like the little Disney, it says Daniels, which is super cool. So yeah, go watch this movie, man. It was fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like this video. If you like this one, go check out all of our past movie reviews. Check out our other stuff. I did Our Flag Means Death, which I love that show.
And you're killing it. It's
doing really well. Yeah, it's doing really well. So that was a great one. Severance. I did another solo one, which no one knows about this. There's no one talking about it, and it's such a great show. It's probably one of my favorite shows out of all this year. And you're talking about like all the Disney Plus stuff. Definitely one of my favorite shows. So go check out the review for Severance, because that is a super underrated show. You know, but let's get out of here. See you guys later.
Deuces.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. We out here.